Hi guys, it's Nyla Dye here from Love Now TV, helping you to transform fear to love and reminding you of how much you've got going for you. So in this video, I want to discuss when things don't go your way. What can you do to take the lessons from them and move forward? Because life is always going to give you things that don't go your way. It's normal, it's natural, and how we use those experiences can make a huge difference. So I'm going to share with you 3 different experiences. Years ago, I was in recruitment and the recession hit and I got made redundant. And I'd also just trained as a counsellor, so I decided that I was going to set up a recruitment and counselling business. So I went to see my bank manager. You know, it was a time when you had relationships with bank managers, and to ask him for a loan of £5,000 to help me set up an office in Oxford Street and get my business going. And we had a good relationship, and I had been on a high salary and I had a gold card which gave me a facility for £10,000 credit, which I'd had for years but I'd never used. So when I asked him for the loan, he was like, yeah, no problem. We can give you the £5,000 for your business and you can use the £5,000 for your personal. And that was it. So I asked him also then, I need a business card because I had to pay for advertising up front. And again, he was fine. So he said, why don't you meet our business manager who looks after small and medium-sized businesses, and he can give you some good advice. And I thought, great, you know, any advice would be much appreciated. So, you know, I went to see him and I didn't take a business plan or anything because the loan had been approved. The manager had already knew me. And so I told him my plan and he was completely negative. He said, there's a recession, nobody's recruiting, the bank's not recruiting, you shouldn't get an office in Oxford Street, it's expensive, and just do counselling in other people's offices and don't incur any costs. So, you know, I listened to him, but I didn't take it on board because I already had a plan and I already had the okay. Now, my credit card came to the office and my bank manager rang me. And I remember the exact moment he rang me because I was in my new office putting up new pictures, and he said, oh, your credit card is here, why don't you come and pick it up from the office? So I went to get it and he said, actually Nyla, you know, we can't give you the £5,000 without collateral. And I said, why not? He said, well, because, you know, it's going to be business and it's not personal. And I said to him, well, I've had a 10 grand, you know, facility for so long, I'm not going to give you my house as collateral for £5,000. You can like whistle for it. That's not going to happen. So he said, well, look, Nyla, I'm not going to fall out with you for £5,000. So I will give it to you. But I'm going to be honest with you. The business manager doesn't think you will, you know, this will work. And he wants us to cut you off after 3 months. So I said, okay. Anyway, I went back to my office, absolutely fucking furious. I thought, wow, they've written me off and he's made that judgment. And I remember going back and putting up my pictures and making a very clear declaration that I am not taking these pictures down. Now fast forward 6 months, and by 6 months I'd got my business off the ground and up and running. They didn't call me after 3 months because they could see money was coming in. But here's the lesson I learned. I thought, I will never have you guys in charge of me and my finances. I'm insecure about my own business. I don't know how I will do, but the last thing I need is you guys breathing down my neck. So after 6 months, I cut up my gold card and I took off the overdraft facility, and I've never taken credit or overdraft since. I decided I will work within my means, and I'll be in charge of my business, I'll be in charge of my finances, not the banks. And that's worked well for me. And 15 years later, after I'd moved to 2 other larger offices in the same building in that time, I took down those pictures only when I sold my business and I was ready to leave. Because I made that clear intention, that's what I'm going to do. My life is in my hands, not in theirs. So I learned through what they did in terms of where the power is. They couldn't have the power. And I learned the lesson, I grew my business, and I took down my pictures when I was good and ready. Now, another example is when I did a documentary called Muslims Like Us, okay? So that was sold to me as a highbrow program where it was going to show the different facets of Muslims and how they wanted, you know, a woman like me on there to give my opinions, blah, blah, blah. It was sold to me in a certain way, which I bought. And then the end result was, it was nothing like I was sold. There was a lot of manipulation. There was their own narrative, their own story, their own editing. It was, for me, a complete embarrassment. I know it won a BAFTA. I don't care. It's still shit as far as I'm concerned. With what they did, the in-depth interviews we had, the stories we covered, the things we discussed, and then the real superficial, shallow, dramatized version that they presented. And I was very, very disappointed and really embarrassed by the end result. Now, I think probably everyone who went on the show would admit that they thought that maybe something would come out of that for them in TV. And I'm not going to deny that was my wish also. Now, it didn't go that way. It didn't go anything like that. I was quite strong in my opinion when I saw them manipulating and telling the others, what I thought. So I did not toe the party line. And when I saw the end result, I had again another thought. I love this quote, which is, "Earthly rejection can be divine protection." And I realize actually, if you go into the media, you're going to have to go by what they want, their storylines in their way. And you're going to have to do what is asked of you, even if you agree or disagree. I'm too opinionated to go along with that. And they did me a big favor, not for nothing to come out of it. Because really, when I saw what they were doing and how they were doing it, I thought it was going to be educational, it was going to be learning, it was going to be empowering, it was going to be insightful. But that wasn't their motivation. And I had planned to set up my channel, and I was sort of thinking about it and had ideas in the background. But as soon as I saw what they did, I thought, I don't want to be part of the media. If I want to do educational, empowering videos that help other people, and I want to do it on my terms and not be dictated by others, then I'm going to have to do it myself. And then I just put the energy into my channel and decided, okay, here's what I want, here's what I'm going to do, and it's going to be on my terms. So again, there was insight and lessons, and then there was, what do I want, and going forward with it. Now the third example I'm going to give you is when I was the one that gave somebody a limiting belief and they were up against my judgment of them. So I've got twin brothers, a couple of years older than me. They're both amazing artists, great drawing, painting. It's not what they do for a living or a profession. They're just very gifted like that. And so when I was like 12, 14 and I'd have homework to do, I'd get one of my brothers to do my drawings because he was really good at it. I mean, they were both good at it, but I would ask one particular brother and he would happily do it. You know, it was very fast, quick and easy for him, and he would do it. Now, one day I asked him to do my homework drawing and he said no, he just wasn't in the mood. And he said, no, I don't want to do it. So I tried to bribe him. Now you can tell how old this story is because I tried to bribe him with 50p. I said, look, I'll give you 50p if you'll do the drawing for me. And he said no, he still said no. So my other brother said, I'll do it for 50p. And I said, no, you're not as good as him. And I didn't want him to do it, right? Now, unbeknown to me, he's then told this story to his boys who are adults now. He said, when Nyla said to me, you're not as good as him, you can't do it, I said, no, I can, and I'm going to do it. And basically, he went on to art school, and he's absolutely brilliant. I mean, if you want to look at his drawings, check him out as Adam Dar on Facebook. And his drawings are amazing. But it was against what I said to him, right? That he was like, no, he's going to prove that he is good. So the truth is, things will not always go our way. People will say no to us. They will judge us. They will limit us. We will do things that will feel like a failure. And that's the human experience, that's the human journey. We will all go through it in some way or not. But the most important thing is look for the lessons. Look for what you can learn from it. Look for, what do I want? And stand behind that. Take the lessons, use them as part of your determination, as part of your own desire to go and create what you want, rather than what people think you can or cannot do. Because we don't know what we can do. But even just having the idea that, hey, I'm not buying that, I'm not taking on board what you're telling me about me, I'm going to go for what I want. Now, sometimes it will be easier than others. Like when my bank manager said no, I had the pressure, but you know, I was going to do it for me. And it shows me that if they're in charge of my finances, they're in charge of my choices, and they cannot have the power. And the same with Muslims like us. I realize if you want the kind of work, videos that you want to help people, then you make them. You be in charge. And my brother decided, no, Nyla, I'm as good as him and I can be better. And what you think of me does not define me. And he proved it and I proved it. So where in your life have you had experiences that didn't go your way, that you might have judged as failure, or where somebody wrote you off? It could have been a relationship or whatever. Somebody judged you, wrote you off, and you didn't buy into it. Even though you felt it and you were afraid of it being true, you decided it wasn't true and you used it to propel yourself forward. Think about any of the areas in your life where things didn't go to plan and what came out of it. What can you learn from it? And how can you use it to go towards what you want rather than not what you don't want? Okay. I hope this helped in some way. Thank you for listening. If you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.